Your engineering and product teams, they're the ones building the future of your company, right? They're the heart of all your innovation. But what if I told you that every single public commit, every blog post, every patent filing they make is basically training a global AI on how to copy your most valuable secrets? Yeah, today we're going to dive into how you can protect that core IP before it gets completely absorbed by the machine.
Okay, and just a quick note before we jump in, everything we're covering in this explainer comes straight from Chapter 8 of a tutorial by Virtualization Options LLC.
So let's kick things off with a question that should honestly stop you in your tracks. Think about your 5-year product roadmap, the one that's supposed to be locked down tight on a secure server. What if it's already on ChatGPT? What if a public AI can just summarize it for anyone who asks? The scary part is, the answer might be a lot closer to yes than you'd like to believe. Okay, so how do we even begin to tackle this? Well, we're going to treat it like a forensic investigation. This is our mission briefing, our game plan. First, we'll head to the crime scene to figure out how these secrets are even getting out. Then, we'll gear you up with a forensic toolkit, we'll assess the damage, and finally, we'll put a lockdown protocol in place to stop it from happening again.
All right, first up, the crime scene. See, the real problem here is that your company's most important innovations, they aren't being stolen in some big dramatic heist. No, it's more like a slow, quiet leak. Just drop by drop, your secrets are flowing into this massive ocean of AI training data.
So, what do we actually mean by IP exposure? It's basically the unintentional, and that's the keyword, unintentional, absorption of your company's secret sauce. We're talking about your unique technical approaches, your product roadmaps, your whole development strategy, all getting vacuumed up into these public AI models that literally anyone can ask questions to. And this isn't just about losing data, it's about losing your entire competitive edge.
Okay, so if there's a crime scene, where is it? Let's move on to Section 2. We're going to investigate the digital crime scene and pinpoint those seemingly harmless, everyday places where your biggest secrets are actually slipping out.
The wildest part about all of this, it's not some super sophisticated hack. These leaks are happening right out in the open, in plain sight. It's just a side effect of your teams doing what they do best, writing code, sharing what they know, and even trying to protect your IP. So who's the number one culprit? Get this. A whopping 73% of this engineering information exposure comes straight from GitHub activity. Yeah, that public repo your team uses for some simple code examples, it's basically a free masterclass for an AI, teaching it all about your private methods and how you build things. And right behind that, coming in hot at 58%, are technical blogs. Look, your engineers are brilliant, and of course they want to share what they've learned with the community. But when they write a post explaining how they cracked a really tough problem, they could be accidentally laying out the exact proprietary blueprint that gives you an edge. Now this one is pretty ironic. At 41%, patent filings themselves are a huge source of these leaks. Think about that. The very tool you are using to legally protect your ideas is also serving as a super detailed step-by-step instruction manual for an AI to learn your most critical innovations. It's wild. All right, so we know where the leaks are coming from. Now it's time to arm you with the tools to figure out what's already out there. Welcome to your forensic toolkit. We're talking about a set of smart, strategic prompts you can use to interrogate these AIs and see exactly what they know about you. And you want to be systematic about this, right? We're going to probe the AI's knowledge across 4 really critical areas. First, the nitty-gritty technical details of your product. Second, the high-level architecture, the blueprint. Third, your roadmap and future plans. And fourth, the patents you've already filed. Okay, let's look at a concrete example. Asking an AI this question is a direct test for what is probably the most damaging leak you can have, your future strategy. An answer here could reveal if things said in, say, recruitment materials or even early partnership talks have been scraped and absorbed by the model. Then you can dig even deeper with a prompt like this one. See, this goes beyond just what your product does and gets into the how. And let me tell you, if an AI can accurately spit back your core architectural approach, that means the secrets to how you actually build your stuff are out there for the world to see. Okay, so you've run your prompts, you've gathered your evidence, now what? Welcome to Section 4, the damage report. This is where we sift through everything you found and really get a handle on the true extent of the exposure. And using a framework like this is absolutely crucial, because you just can't treat every leak the same. You've got to categorize what you find based on its competitive impact. For example, public API documentation? Okay, that's pretty low risk, probably a necessary evil. But a proprietary algorithm? Whoa, that's a high impact breach, and it means you need to start investigating like yesterday.
And all of this leads us to our final section, the lockdown protocol. This is where we make the big shift from investigating the past to proactively protecting the future. It's all about how you secure the perimeter from here on out.
Really, the most important thing you can do is draw a very clear line in the sand for your teams. They have to understand the difference between acceptable sharing, talking about general best practices, and what we'd call problematic disclosure. That's anything that gives away the secret sauce, like your specific algorithms or features you haven't released yet. Look, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, make it these 3 actions. This is your protection plan. First, set up some governance, like an approval process for technical blogs and talks. Second, manage your code repos, audit what's public, and use generic examples. And third, you need to instill some serious discipline around any public discussion of the product roadmap. That's it. That's your core plan.
And just to really drive home the urgency here, think about this fact. There's typically an 18-month gap between when you file a patent and when it's actually published for the world to see. That's a critical window. That's a year and a half of confidentiality before your most detailed innovations become permanent training data for every AI out there. You have to use that time wisely.
So, you've done the investigation. You've put the lockdown protocol in place. You've secured the perimeter. But the big question still hangs in the air, doesn't it? In this age of AI, where everything is constantly being scraped, indexed, and learned from, is any secret really safe? It's something that's going to demand constant vigilance from all of us.